Is De'Aaron Fox finally living up to the expectations that we all had when he became a Spur? Let's preview tonight's Spurs-Heat matchup. Welcome back to another episode of Spurs in Focus. I am your host, Jeff Garcia, longtime Spurs writer out here in San Antonio. As always, we thank y'all for coming to us first, your only spot for all things silver and black. Make sure to subscribe over the YouTube page. And also, hey, it's now on iTunes. Yes, it's now on iTunes, YouTube podcast, as well as Pocket Cast. So if you can't catch the video portion of this, you can definitely go subscribe to the Spurs in Focus over on iTunes. Again, that's iTunes, YouTube podcast, and now Pocket Cast. So baby steps. We're making baby steps here at Spurs in Focus. Follow me on X at Jeff G Spurs Zone. Do that right now. Don't forget to check out the Substack, spursinfocus.substack.com. Go subscribe right now. Why? Because it's completely free. Yeah, I'm not charging anybody for it. Just go hit the subscribe. You're good to go. And we appreciate those who have subscribed as well, not only to the YouTube page, but also to the Substack and other spots down the road. So we'll see how that works out. What are we talking about today? You see on your screen, we're talking about De'Aaron Fox. Is he finally living up to the expectation? When he was traded, many people thought we're going to get that firepower De'Aaron Fox that we saw in Sacramento. It was a little bit of a lull, but it looks like he's trending in the right direction at the right time. We're going to be talking about that, the pros, any cons, and so much more. And preview tonight's Spurs-Heat matchup. Should be a good one. And I think I'm going to save it for the show, but I think a very needed matchup. I'll tell you why in just a few minutes. It's going to bring in our guest. He is Matt Guzman with Spurs on Sports Illustrated. Follow him on X at Matt GZMEN. Matt, welcome to Spurs in Focus.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Glad to be on.
Not a problem, buddy. By the way, again, love your cat, man. Was an adoptive New Yorker. I'm an adopted New Yorker. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. I've been rocking it for a while. It's funny. I went away for it for quite a bit, but I got one of these when I first visited the city when I was young, and I lost it. So when I went back for the summer, I figured I had to get a new one, and wearing it ever since.
When I first moved to New York, way back when, I lived in the Bronx. So I got myself a cat.
You're outside the stadium. Yeah, exactly.
And then years later, I moved to Queens, and I got myself a Mets hat. So where's my alliance? Actually, I lean towards the Mets because I lived in the Queens area I was there for 20 years. I would say a good 14 years. So sorry, Yankee fans, but hey, love y'all. And it's okay because San Antonio doesn't have a baseball team, so I can switch allegiances if I want to. Matt, again, thanks for joining us here. Everybody else, again, follow him on X at Matt GZMN. Matt, let's go and dive into it here. And De'Aaron Fox, let's put him in the spotlight. You know, when he was traded to San Antonio, many thought like, oh my God, instant firepower. He had some injuries. His start to his Spurs chapter was delayed a bit, even this season. But nevertheless, he is here. He's looking like the co-star the Spurs needed for Wemby. Matt, is he finally living up to that expectation?
I see. I think I agree with the sentiment. I think the word that I'm a little weary of is finally, because this has been an ongoing conversation. Okay. Even over Christmas break, some family that I was spending the holidays with, we're sitting around watching the games, and they're saying, "Oh, we don't need Fox, or we didn't need him, or he'd miss a shot." Be like, "Oh, I knew it," and I'm sitting here like, "Well, that's not really, It was a big sacrifice that he made when he decided he wanted to play with the Spurs, because he was going from a Sacramento team where it was him and Sabonis, and honestly, it was more him than Sabonis. He was the number one option. He led them to that 2023 playoff berth, and that was kind of proof of what he's capable of his ceiling. But when he says, "I want to go play in San Antonio," it's clear that they're building around one player, playing around Victor Wembanayama. And we've been kind of talking about it in the weeks and months leading up to it. Like, obviously, Victor is going to have that kind of a pool. He's going to attract stars to want to go play next to him. But that's it. They're playing next to him. They're not going to go and be the number one guy. And Fox was okay with that. And so then he starts the season, and obviously those numbers, I mean, he's not averaging 25 a game. He's averaging 19 a game right now. And I think there's been games where he scores maybe 9, scores 12, 15, but he's been such a crucial piece of that offense. It's not necessarily that he's living up to the expectations. I mean, these were the expectations. I think just some fans had a skewed version of what they would be. They imagined Fox coming in and needing to score 30 every night, and the Spurs would never lose again. No, but it's time, and I think that he's played his role well, and I think it's really starting to show, especially as the season is getting longer, because he's been in this position before, making a playoff play, and I think that's really come through and shown for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Heading into his new chapter here, the Spurs, we had discussions about this, you, me, other friends, what his impact would be. And I was kind of tempering expectations, saying, don't expect the De'Aaron Fox he saw with the Kings, because he has Wemby now at his side and he's going to get the bulk of the touches. And also, too, as we saw just recently versus Indiana, it wasn't Victor. It wasn't De'Aaron Fox. It was guys like Dylan Harper, Keldon Johnson that were leading the way with 24 points apiece there. So at times, Fox, not even Wemby, are going to be the leading scorers or the ones that just basically lead the team to a win. It doesn't have to be points. It could be in other departments. My point is that De'Aaron Fox, just as his teammates around him, he has plenty of firepower. And what have we seen, or at least heard the Spurs talk about recently in post-game chats? This team, we don't have a problem with offense. We know we have offensive guys. So they're aware of it. Like, it doesn't have to be Fox's night. It doesn't have to be Wemby's night. If you saw, it could be Harper's night. It could be Keldon's night. Hell, it could be even Devin Vassell's night. So, I mean, I can even go far. It could be even a Luke Cornett night. I mean, that's how potent this team is. And I think fans had really high expectations when he became a Spur. I mean, it was through the roof. And we saw it, last season, this season, where it was kind of like, he's tradable. Get rid of him. What is he doing? He's not doing anything. He's, we got Steph Castle. We got Harper. We're good. Get rid of him. But he's proven his worth of late. And yes, he does have playoff experience technically, but keep this in mind, it wasn't like Sacramento had a deep playoff run. I think it was like a series, and that was it. But nevertheless, even that amount of experience is going to help this team. So now is he living up to the expectations? I think is at the right time, Matt, as the regular season is winding down. I think even if he had a taste of the postseason, that's a lot more than what Victor, Steph, Keldon, Devin, the list goes on and on, even Mitch Johnson have. So, Matt, before we go into some numbers of late, do you think Spurs fans really had high expectations, thinking that they're going to get this 20 plus a night kind of player?
I think so. I think a lot of them did. I think a lot of them expected him to be, this all NBA top tier point guard. And he has been playing that way. That's the thing that we're mentioning, right? Like, I think this team right now has, at least last I checked, has 8 different players averaging double figures. Like you mentioned, Devin Vassell can lead the night in scoring. We've had Champagne go for 30 before. It's not always going to be on Fox. And I think he knows that. The important thing is that he's okay with that. He's not going to be sitting there saying, I could have taken more shots, or, when he goes home, he's not thinking about that either. He's happy to be on the team in the position that it's in. And it's kind of funny too, right? Because you talk about the expectations that fans might have had.
Right.
They're number 2 in the West. What more expectations could you have?
Exactly.
And I get you maybe want to see Fox score a little bit more, take a little bit more on ball, take over the game. There's going to be times for him to do that, and just that one playoff experience that he's had, you mentioned, right? It also wasn't just, we lost in 4 or 5.
Right.
He went to 7 with Steph Curry. So he knows like to play against guys who have been there and done that 1 4 different times. Yeah. So that's pretty huge. And I think that's going to be something he can lean on as the playoffs draw nearer and as they get to experiencing that for the first time in the group.
Matt, quietly, Fox in the last 10 games is putting up all-star numbers. It's getting overshadowed right now because of Wemby and his hot play. We saw Keldon and Dylan, they're getting a little bit of spotlight. But I'm going to show you some numbers here. Let's go some numbers here. This is via Pivot Fade. Matt, this is what Fox has been doing in the last 10 games. Incredible. This is just incredible. Last 10, everybody seeing your screen there. 20.7 points per game, 3.9 rebounds, 6.6 assists. I think that's the biggest key for me there. He's doing it all in 31 minutes. Look at that. He's a plus 7.8 in these last 10 games. And you go down this columns and the rows here, everybody. I mean, look at that. He's shooting well, 52% from the field. Even inside the 3-point line, just 2-point percentage, 62%. He's getting it done inside the 3 line. Matt, what's standing out for you in this graphic?
I think my eyes were popping a little bit at the field goal percentage.
Oh, yeah.
Last 10 games, 52% from the field. I mean, he's been incredibly efficient. And obviously the scoring has kicked up the way that fans were expecting. But, just more importantly, they've kicked up in ways that Fox knows he's capable of, the Spurs know he's capable of. And it's, it's since February, more often than not, it's been a win. And so I think that the Spurs have been able to reap the benefits of his play.
Yeah, exactly. And we're looking at this chart right here with you. And again, for me, I know you looked at the field goal percentage that caught your eye, but for me, it's the assist. I think he doesn't get enough attention for how good of a facilitator he is. That's nearly 7 assists per game. That's just really sharing the ball, looking for your teammate, proving that he's not just simply I'm a score first kind of guard. He's definitely looking for his teammates as well. You keep on looking down this line here again. It's not great, but 33% shooting from the 3 line. I think they'll take it. Look again, the Spurs still as a team remain kind of in the middle of the pack 3-point team. So I don't think that's gonna have any type of major leap as the season winds down, the postseason begins. I think they are who they are from the 3 line. Just gotta suck it up or go with it. But all in all, I mean, my goodness, this is just good. Look at that. Another thing that stands out for me, look at his last 10 games. He's only averaging, what is that, 2 turnovers a game? Yeah, that's it. 2 turnovers a game. Matt, when you look at this chart, don't you think it kind of circles back to the topic right now we're talking about? Is he finally proving his worth? Or do you think this is a sign of something else, just him finally getting that chemistry with his team?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. Because, obviously things were going to be a little rocky to start, not because he's bad or because, his players that he was playing with were bad. More so just it takes time to get used to playing with a talent as good as Fox. And I'm sure for Fox, as okay mentally as he was with that, I think it was still a little bit of an adjustment to take a back seat and learn that, okay, even if Julian's got it going or Devin's got it going,
Right.
I can allow that to happen. Not that he's charged that, right? But he's not going to fight it. He's very okay. In fact, he's probably grateful. It's maybe a little bit of a relief when things maybe not falling for him, and that's fine because Castle is going for a 40-point triple double.
Sure.
Or Victor's blocking 9 shots and putting up 30 points. And so he also has his moments. He's got plenty of games with over 20 points, which is nothing to laugh at. He's been an integral part of their offense, and as you mentioned, the facilitation as well. He's been a huge piece of how successful they've been alongside Castle and Harper, and I think that's been huge. You've had a little bit more time to shine in the last 10 games, and that's how it goes. That's just 82 games. You're bound to have your times to shine, your times to take a little bit of a seat back, and I think he's executed that well all season.
Absolutely, yeah. And again, kind of an unsung hero of late. For a big reason why the Spurs are on that long winning streak and why they're now at least heading into the Miami game tonight on a 5-game winning streak. He's a big reason for that. And everybody thought that the 3-guard lineup wouldn't work. Hey, look at this. So far, again, it seems like the theme of this season, the Spurs proving everybody wrong, proving Vegas wrong. What do I mean, mid-40 team? No, we're in the 50s. Here they are, 53 wins. 3-guard lineup won't work. Well, look at the Fox numbers. We could bring up Castle's number you want. You could bring up Harper's number you want. It's working. So again, Fox, an integral piece of not only this regular season, but the postseason that's coming up ahead. Hey, those are our thoughts on De'Aaron Fox living up to the expectations. What do you think? You think this is who he is and he better continue being this way? Or you think finally he's showing up? Or, you think it's something else? Let us know on X. Let me know at Jeff G Spurs On. Let Matt know on X at Matt G ZMEN. And while you're at it, go subscribe to the Spurs in Focus YouTube page. It is live. Also, the podcasts are finally up on the YouTube podcast, Pocket Cast, as well as iTunes. So hopefully more will be coming down the road. Matt, let's go to talk about tonight's game, Spurs-Heat. Yeah, let's go to dive into that. And again, as I mentioned just right before the break, 5-game winning streak for the Spurs. In that winning streak, they got tested. They had a dramatic game versus the Suns. I think they needed that. But I think another key thing, we'll get into some numbers in a bit, but just for me, just going into this game tonight versus Miami, I think they need another test because, there's destroying the Pacers. Yeah, they're destroying sub 500 teams or teams on paper they should beat. But I think they need a gritty, tough it out, physical game right as the playoffs are coming in. I think this Miami team is the right medicine for the Spurs team. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. I mean, they've always, you can never have too many tests. And I think we've heard that a couple times. Julian or Devin, they're viewing these last 12 games or so as dress rehearsals. I think it was Harrison Barnes where he said it. They see them as dress rehearsals for the playoffs. And so, anytime you have a chance to be in a close game, down to the wire kind of thing, they're going to take it. And obviously they haven't seen much of this Miami Heat team. See once at the beginning of the season, but I think it's going to be good for them. And I think that, especially being on the road, it'll be one of their last road games, actually. Under 5 already. And so it's going to be a good test for them. Obviously they'd like to keep their 5-game winning streak rolling. Miami's on a losing streak. So momentum might be in their favor. And the way they've been playing, I could see them going in and taking care of business just fine. But, if it does go down to the wire, I think that there's some good things to take from that as well.
Yeah. Matt, does Bam get 83 again? I doubt it.
I was not scoring 83.
What do you think about that performance? A lot of people were bagging on him. It wasn't 100% applause for his 83-point night. What did you think about it?
I think it's just the culture we're in now. I think anytime records are broken, people are going to have something to say about it. I go back and forth with people about the LeBron and Jordan thing all the time. They're never going to want to cede a win to a new player, someone up and coming. I personally was happy for him. I was glad he got that. 43 free throws is a lot, but
yes, it is.
They were fouling him.
At
some point, he put it perfectly. Like he had 70 with 9 minutes to play, so we'd be stupid not to go for it. So I'm glad he did. Yeah, it worked out. I think people are just overreacting as they do to most things.
Absolutely, yeah. Or like what Sean said, Sean Elliott on the broadcast recently, he said 83 is 83 no matter how you do it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I heard Matt, you put up 90 points in a game. Is that
true? That was a intramural game here at one time. I did have a 90. So no video tapes were lost.
Yeah, just trust his sources. That's all I got.
Yeah, no questions asked.
Yeah, no questions asked. All right. During that chat, I put up the tail of the tape here. Heat Spurs. So let's go and dive into it here. Offensively, they're about neck and neck. So I think it's going to come down to defense. And that's a Miami team led by Coach Spo. They definitely preach defense. So does Mitch Johnson, as well as Wemby, as we all know from Media Day this season, when Wemby said defense is non-negotiable. All right, you keep on going down the tail of the tape here, man. It's close, man. Points per game, almost dead heat. Opponent points per game, again, close. Spurs have a slight edge on there. Field goal percentage, again, Spurs have a slight edge. Miami at 46%, 47. We'll give them that. 3-point percentage is close. Free throw percentage is close. Rebounds per game. I mean, if stats don't lie, this game could be a tight one. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. And you're going to be, a hostile environment. Things are always going to shake in favor of the home team, and that tends to be the case. It's going to be a defensive thing, and obviously the Spurs have hung their hat on that. I think Castle's back to being questionable for this matchup, so if he's able to play and make that happen, then I think that'll be huge for the Spurs. When you got a team that's pretty equal to you, it's going to be who shows up more when it matters, and so I think the Spurs are going to be able to ride their momentum into that.
Exactly. Now, the good news is for the San Antonio Spurs is Miami ain't playing that well right now. They're on a 4-game losing skid, including 2 straight games lost in Miami. So they kind of hit a bump in the road right now. Obviously, we're looking at the Wemby Bam matchup. I think that's a given. But here's another matchup that I'm actually looking forward to watching, and that is the battle of the 6-man award winning candidates. Jaime Jaquez, who I believe the Miami did report he will be likely back for tonight's game, and Keldon Johnson. Right now, the odds makers have Keldon as a 32% chance of winning the award, with Jaime Jaquez number 2 at 29%. So it's close. I really think this would be a good time for Keldon to shine bright coming off that bench for San Antonio. So keep that in mind as well for tonight's game. Again, outside of Bam, Miami does present other problems. There's Tyler Hero. He's averaging, I think right now, 21.5 points per game, 5 rebounds, nearly 4 assists per game. He could be a handful. But man, the Spurs are just playing on a different level right now. This team just looks hungry. Looks like they want to win every freaking game. And now I can comfortably say, like, if the Spurs are down by double figures going into the final frame, like I said, yeah, this team can come back. They've proven it time and time again this season. So obviously, if they're not getting curb stomped, but even then, you saw the Clippers have a 20 plus point lead on them. They did that. I'm just expecting a dogfight tonight. What about you?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think that's a fair statement. Obviously Miami is going to be equally as hungry, if not more. Especially having lost the last 4 games. But the Spurs have found a different gear. I think Mitch had that say about Fox the other day. This whole team has really clicked it into a different gear, and they've really, really looked cohesive, well-oiled, and ready for the playoffs. So, I could see them, like I mentioned earlier, I could see them just as easily walking in there and walking out with a win.
Yeah, exactly. Other numbers before we get into our final segment here. Miami Heat, they come in 5th in the NBA defensive rating at a 113.3. Right on their heels are the Spurs as well. And again, I'm highlighting what Matt and I are talking about being a defensive battle tonight. You have the Spurs 3rd in the NBA defensive rating at 112.1. So probably don't expect a lot of scoring tonight. I think it's going to be rough and tumble, and I think the Spurs do need a test. I think they absolutely do need a test because, they're confident right now, and that's good, but I don't want them to have too much confidence in the wrong spot. Like, you're beating the Pacers, 16-game losing skip. You beat, I'm making this up, the Kings, the Jazz. What do you do with the Wizards? Let's get some tests going in here. So this would be a good one for the Spurs. Matt, I get the Spurs for the W. What about you?
I think that's my prediction too. I think they'll make it a 6th straight win.
I'm with you. All right. What do you think about tonight's game? Spurs v Heat. I got the Spurs winning. I think Matt and I, we do. Yeah, we're pretty sure. Hopefully, crossing fingers, Spurs get their 6th win in a row. Let Matt know on X at Matt GZMEN. Let me know on X at Jeff G Spurs Zone. Hey, Matt, you want to have a nerd segment?
Let's do it.
Nerd! Well, I am glad that the nerd wall is back, so I'm very happy about that.
I was noticing. Yeah, it looks nice.
Matt and I made it very clear before we started recording the show. Matt appreciates the nerd stuff and the geek stuff, but he's not at my level. I take it to a whole other level. But Matt can appreciate it. He'll tolerate it if I'm talking about it. But there's one thing that gets Matt going when it comes to pop culture and movies or horror movies. For those who don't know, Matt is a fan favorite of the Art the Clown. Yeah, y'all know who that guy is. Y'all seen him at cons with the white face, pale white face, big grin. From the Terrifier series. Well, Matt, look what I did for you.
I saw the picture. This is a million times better seeing it on here.
All right, we got a close up there for you.
Got David signature and Art the Clown.
That is him. So for those of y'all who don't know, in San Antonio, I MC a lot of the major Comic Cons, and one of them is called the Big Texas Horror Con. And I had a chance to conduct a panel or moderate a panel with this guy, the actor who plays Art the Clown. Now, first of all, if y'all go look at Terrifier, I'm going to tell you this right now. Put your kids away, all right? It's not for kids, not even by a long shot. There's not even moments you can say, yeah, I think you look at this part. No, it's pretty gory. So I thought Matt was going to show up, but unfortunately, his schedule, he couldn't make it. And I usually get Matt a pass to go hang out with me. But he says, Jeff, look at that. That's you, right?
Yeah, that's me for Halloween.
That's you.
I had to show off a little bit.
Look at that. Matt even cosplays as Art the Clown. So I said, I brought up to him, I go, Matt, I'm moderating a panel with Art the Clown, the actor, and the rest of the crew there, even the Guardian, she was there. The Angel, the list goes on and on. So came in, I said, Matt, if he got a pop, and I knew he did, give it to me. And I will try. I emphasize try, because if y'all don't go to cons, a lot of the actors, they charge a lot of money for this, like tons of money for this. Like it's not cheap. So Matt, let me tell you the story, how this went down. So the panel is over. I'm releasing them. Now I have your pop. It's next to me underneath the table. And the table curtain is blocking it, so nobody's seeing it. And Art the Clown, Matt, he didn't see it. So we're all good, right? So I am rushing through it. So if you go video, you'll hear me on the stage going, and that is a Terrifier panel, Art the Clown, blah, 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 because I see him. He's leaving. He didn't even stay around and wave hi or took a group photo with me on the stage. They're all bolting, and he's there. So I put the microphone down. I grab the pop from under the table, and I rush. And I go across the stage, and I go down the stairs into the green room, the waiting room. and I go, Matt, Art the clown. Everybody's calling him Art. David, come out here, and he's like, hey, what's up, man? And I go, listen, I got a friend of mine. His name is Matt. And I have it with me. I go, and he has a pop that I really wants you to sign. So the actor looks at me. He does like a friend. I'm like, no, I swear to God, to you, it's not for me. It's not for me. I'll give you his name right now. He goes, all right, fine. And he was really nice about it, Matt. He's really, he didn't give me like the side eye, like, oh, you're trying to sneak one out of me, not get in line and pay me. I showed it to him and I gave him this. So then he looks at it, Matt, and he goes like, okay. He was like that. So then your guy even thought ahead. Usually actors don't carry Sharpies. I had one. I had a Sharpie. So I take out the Sharpie and I say, hey, and I just happen to have a Sharpie. So I think that sealed the deal that I came prepared. So he goes, all right, fine. What's his name? I go, Matt. He was originally going to spell your name with one T.
Really?
Yeah. Like he was writing M-A-T, and then he stopped and he was going to go to the inscription. And then I told him, no. Well, actually, he stopped. He goes, oh, is it Matt with one T or two T's? I go, it's two T's. He goes, okay. He goes back and puts the other T. So when you get it, when I drop it off to you, you're going to see where he just added it at the edge. And then he does the inscription. So everyone wants to read the inscription. It just says, just take one. And then his autograph, it has a very funky autograph. And then he writes Art the Clown in the bottom there. Matt.
That'd be my most prized possession of all time, I think.
That is my gift to you. And you don't have to pay for it at all. Hey, but I was going to ask you, like, why are you a fan of Art the Clown and the Terrifier series?
I think it started, I'd heard a lot about it because I've been a horror fan for a while. It was one of those, like, my parents didn't want to believe that I was a big horror fan. No, you should watch this movie with me. And it was like, yeah, Hereditary. And then my dad watched it and he was like, why do you like that? And I'm like, what do you mean? Why don't you like that? So it's like one of those things where I've always really liked it. And, the people around me tolerate it, but I've always been. And so I'd heard a lot about it. I was in an internship with the Kansas City Star and I was just by myself in an apartment and I was like kind of bored. So I'm going to just watch a bunch of movies when I'm not working. And so I finally found that Terrifier was on Peacock and I watched it and I was like, this is like the best movie I've ever seen. I think I really like the gore stuff. It's just fun. And obviously, I mean, David does an amazing job. Just the way that he can like Art the Clown looks like he's really happy to like be killing all these people. And I like, it's kind of terrible, but it's like, it's kind of fun. I don't know. I've really enjoyed watching it. And so I went and I saw Terrifier 3 by myself on opening weekend, watched the second one that summer as well. But I don't know. It's just the way that he carries himself in that role is really, really cool to me. I've liked watching Lauren Lavera obviously too. And
yeah,
it's cool. I've really enjoyed it. Something about it. I don't know. Maybe it's that people don't really like it. So I kind of find it fun that I do enjoy it. But yeah, I've been a huge fan of him for a while now.
Yeah, I was on the stage only with David and Lauren and Chris Jericho was up there with me. The list goes on.
We're on performance of the Clown Cafe.
Yes, yeah, the Clown Cafe. We heard that. One of the other actors, Abrahams. He was like in the later Terrifier movies. Like he showed up. He was my co-hype man. We both went up on the stage together. We hyped up the crowd together. But you might be jealous about this. I had lunch with Lauren, so just a heads up. There you go.
That's so cool.
Everybody just Google search her name and images. You'll see why Matt's probably jealous. But she's actually from Austin. Is that right? I think she's from Austin.
I had no idea. I actually didn't know that.
I'm going to double check on that, but I think I heard through the grapevine that she is from Austin. But I was going to tell you, it was great. It was great. I wish you were there. I wish you were there because
made it. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I wanted you to be there. I was hoping you would be there, but you had some stuff to do. But what are you gonna do with it when I finally give it to you?
I might put it on display. Honestly, like anywhere I go, it's gonna be next to me. I might bring it to games with me. I might put it next to the press conference room.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll show De'Aaron Fox. Kind of brag.
There you go. And he's a closet nerd. By the way, my mistake. No, she is actually from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Okay. So I don't know. I think maybe I got you. I think one of the actors is either from Austin or now lives in Austin.
Nice.
One or two. But no, we had a quick bite in the green room together, and we were talking about the panel and how she was glad that people showed up. It was packed, Matt.
I imagine.
Yeah.
I'm not the only one.
So I got to ask you, as if like you're on my panel, favorite kill that Art the Clown does.
Oh, that's a really good question. I have a couple. I think the first one that comes to mind is obviously the bedroom scene in the second movie.
Maybe I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
He leaves and comes back, and he's got the hot salt. And I was watching it with one of my friends, and I think Art left, and he goes, "What could Art possibly do to this girl?" And then he came back and he did more. It's either that one, or I think the other one that I really enjoyed was the chainsaw scene in the third one. Those are both really up there as far as
They're very graphic, everybody. It's very graphic.
Pretty bad. It's pretty terrible, actually.
Again, note to kids and family, or when your parents are maybe watching this, don't show your kids if they're not of age yet.
I think my honorable mention would be the Santa Claus in the third one when he finds.
You know what? That one comes up a lot.
That one is
yes.
That's brutal.
I get another funny story. It was a separate panel at the con, and I think it was the Michael Myers panel. It was a salute to Michael Myers, and we had like majority of the actors that played him there, and fans were asking questions like, typical nerdy questions like, who would win the fight? Freddy Krueger and Michael Myers, or Jason and Michael Myers, blah blah blah. And then somebody brought up who would win in a fight with Michael Myers and Art the Clown, Terrifier. And the actor who played Michael Myers, he said, "You know what? Because I want to end Art the Clown." And he goes, "Why?" He goes, "So I can have his line at all the cons and get all that money that actor gets." So we all thought that was hilarious. But no, Matt, this is waiting for you. We'll figure a way you can come pick it up.
Absolutely.
That, Matt. Your prized possession in my hand. Oops. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. He is Matt Guzman with Spurs on Sports Illustrated. Matt, what's going on over there at your neck of the woods?
Yeah, I just put out an article about kind of the attention that the Spurs have been receiving, obviously on their huge streak since February. So that's out, and then hoping to do something too on Keldon. I've been talking to different players and obviously Mitch as well since the New York trip back in the end of February. So I've got some stuff to put together on him and just the kind of impact that he's had, the year he's had. So that's what you have coming up.
You go look forward to that. We're at Spurs on Sports Illustrated. Follow Matt on X at MattGZ, man. And follow him too if you want to give him your favorite Art the Clown kill. I think he'll definitely appreciate that as well. Matt, as always, we thank you for taking time to join us here on Spurs in Focus. And everybody else, we thank you all for making Spurs in Focus your first and only spot for all things silver and black. You want to subscribe to us on YouTube. We got the podcast up and running. Spurs in Focus is now on iTunes. Spurs in Focus is now on Pocket Cast. Spurs in Focus is now on YouTube Podcast. Many more to come down the road, but we got to start it with those three. And of course, go subscribe to the Substack, spursinfocus.substack.com. It's free. I know y'all think that all Substack is paid per view thing. No, it's not. Mine is completely free. Go sign up. Easy. Just hit subscribe, and it gets into your email inbox every day whenever an article goes up. So go check that out right now. We definitely appreciate it. We'll be back on Wednesday as the Spurs season continues. So for Matt, Art the Clown Guzman, I am Jeff Garcia, and now you're in focus with Spurs in Focus.